Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry, Emotion Blowers. Welcome to another episode. Today's a beautiful 63 degrees here in Long Island, New York. As you know, recently in the past couple of years, I started doing my own oil changes for all my cars because I have jacks, I have a good supply of oil, and I have ramps too. And recently, I've done an oil change on this Mercedes SUV, as well as Sketchy, my F-150. I have these car ramps, and I simply just drive it up the ramp, and I've got plenty of room to crawl underneath and get out the drain plug. Now with Mercedes, they have skid plates under it, so you do have to take some time to take all the screws out there, drop the entire plate to have access to the drain plug on the oil pan. However, I was not able to do it with this car. As you can see on the bottom, the valance is so low, so when you almost try to drive up the ramp, the front valance pushes the ramp forward. There's no clearance. Which is why I haven't done it yet. Until today. I've got a new set of ramps here that have hydraulics in them. It's from my friends over at Garvee. Let's open up the box and I'll show you what it looks like. There you go, fellas. This is the Garvee ramps with hydraulics on the bottom. It has two individual bottle jacks that are integrated into the ramps. So once the car is on the ramp, you could actually jack up the height even more. Left side and the right side individually. Here's a better look at it. Really sturdy construction. As you can see, you got a bottle jack underneath there that lifts up the second tier. And these ramps are much longer, so that the slope angle going all the way up is gradual, not really steep. Therefore, perhaps my valance of my Mercedes will go up to here and the tire will start going up and it won't rub. So let's try it. There's a release knob over here that fits into the stick. You fit it there like a puzzle, and then you close the valve. Once you close the valve, you're able to stick the same stick into here and slowly jack this up. Okay, that's the most it'll go. It won't go any higher. You can keep pumping, but it won't go any higher. As you can see, you have 3 holes here for the levels. So this actually acts as a jack too. So you can stick that in there and be assured that this won't fall down. So it also acts as jack stands. Very, very cool. As you can see, you have another pin that goes into this side as well. But under pressure, so I'm standing on it right now, all of my weight. We'll shove the stick back in here to release it. You go counterclockwise. And there you go. Now it's on these pins, see? I'm gonna take the pins out. Stand on it again, all my weight. And it goes all the way down again. If you want it to go back up, turn the valve clockwise again to close the valve. So, I've got everything that I need. These ramps to get my car on top of them so I can crawl underneath the front, take the skid plate off, release the drain plug, drain all the oil from the engine, and for a 2012 Mercedes Benz E350, it takes 6.9 quarts of 5W20, 30, or 40 oil. So I have here 7 quarts of Lucas Oil 5W30 synthetic, and I've got the best oil filter for it too. That's right, all the automotive YouTubers use wicks. I don't know why, but they say it's the best. So if they're automotive YouTubers, they've done oil changes with wicks their entire career. I'll just trust that reputation. Yes, there are other automotive YouTubers that use Fram or Purelator, but the majority of people use Wix 57059er. That's the code for my specific car. I got two because it also fits my other Mercedes. But what annoys me the most is that I had bought a oil filter cap removal tool, which I used on my last oil change for the other Mercedes. But guess what? I don't know where it is. I've looked for about an hour in my garage. I can't find it. It's so annoying. But I guess we'll get started. I'm gonna go and try and get my car on top of these ramps. Man, oh man, that worked out great. I was a little nervous, of course, but this is perfect. My other ramps were so high and steep that it would hit the front valance. This is a gradual lift. So this will work for sports cars too, with a very low front air dam or low valance. I feel very confident with these, but I'm gonna put jack stands underneath anyway. I have my emergency brake on, but I'm gonna chuck it too. So as you saw, I removed 8 of these 5/16 screws. At least my 5/16 worked. And I have these jacks that are jacked up onto one of those things. Honestly, everything else is too high to get the jack to fit, so anything's better than nothing. I don't need to jack this up any higher because this is more than enough room for me. So when I removed the skid plate with those 8 screws, I see this. I can't find the drain plug anywhere. Do I have to remove this plate to have access to the drain plug? Because I can't find it anywhere. I might have to look up a video just to see where is the drain plug. It can't be this thing. This is connected to the steering. Yeah, I don't know where a drain plug is. So after looking on YouTube, apparently there's another panel behind it. This one right there. Gotta remove that. That exposes the drain plug. So I removed the other cover, and that exposes the transmission pan. Well, I mean, I didn't want the transmission pan, and it doesn't look like the video. It's supposed to be like right here. He said in between the 2 cats. I don't have anything that looks like that. And I took this grommet off. There's nothing under there. I don't see anywhere where the drain plug is. This is ridiculous. I can't find it. I have no idea where it is. It should be obvious. In the video, there was a thing that looked different from this, and the drain plug was like sticking out right there. But I don't have that. If I move forward, I do have this plate here. Do I remove the plate? Look. There's nowhere that shows any signs of any obvious drain plug. This is turning into quite a project, I will say. Well, at the same time, I'm down here to check out all the joints and if there's any leaks. Everything looks really good. I mean, this is a 2012. There's no rust anywhere. Make these cars really nice. All right, I looked at some pictures. I only needed to take the first panel off. So this is that panel. It's right there. I know it's not obvious, but that's it. All right. 7 quarts, so I've got like 3 containers. That ought to be enough. How much of a mess could I make? Alright, put the panels back on, worked out great, and it was very smooth. You guys saw it only took 1 bucket, which is strange because on my SUV it took 2 buckets. Okay, I just put 6 quarts of 5W30 synthetic in there. It takes 6.9, but sometimes you want to make sure. Don't pour it all in yet until you have the bulk of it in. Then start up the engine, make sure you have no leaks, right? And then check the dipstick after it settles for a bit. Then fill and top off. If you poured the whole 7 and there was only 6.1 that's required, you've overfilled your crankcase, and therefore you'd have to drain out another quart. So you go by the internet, but you never know, right? So I'm going to save the last quart after I've tested the levels first with the dipstick. This was probably the cleanest oil change I've ever done. I didn't make a mess anywhere, which is amazing. I've taken my jack stands out, take the chalk out, look down, make sure you got nothing in the way. First thing you do, you look underneath while the engine's running, check for any drips. You know, catastrophic drips, like pouring out, you know? It means you didn't do something right. Now you check where the oil filter is. Make sure that gasket, as you guys saw, I used new motor oil. People always say, use old motor oil and coat the gasket. Why do you have to use used motor oil? Use new motor oil. Looking at the seal, you see no drips, no leakage. Which means you tightened the oil filter cover perfectly and the gasket is seating correctly. Check below again. No catastrophic pours of oil down there, not even a drop. Looks like we're good. So unlike new cars, the newer cars, they don't even have a dipstick. At least this has a dipstick. Dipstick! Let it sit for about 5 minutes or so all the oil from the splashing goes all the way down and settles. Now you can check your dipstick and see if you need to add that extra quart. And I'm pretty sure that you do. But I wanted to make sure before I put the last quart in. You don't want to overfill your engine. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. Check the dipstick. Completely dry. I wonder if the green one is the oil. All right, I've got a reading now. Yep. Right there. And max is here, arrow. So it looks like you can throw another quart in there, see? So it's right on the money. I put this back because you have access to the cap. 7th and final quart going in. This should top it all off. And it should be perfect. Awesome, but there's one more thing left to do. So right now, when I start my car, it says here, service A5 exceeded by 160 days. So how am I going to get rid of that warning light and reset my oil? While it's on the mileage area, I turn it to one click. Then I'll press the phone, and within 2 seconds, press the left. Phone, left. Vehicle data, go down to Assist Plus, say okay. Full service, okay. I don't know what service that was. Service 8, service 12. Full service. Service carried out, yes. Confirm. Full service, carried out. No more warnings on needing service. So a synthetic oil change at a Mercedes dealer is over $220. My Wix oil filter cost me $12 on eBay. The 7 quarts of Lucas oil I had on hand due to my sponsorship with Lucas Oil. I've got plenty of it. But you can get a quart of 5W30 at any store between $5 and $8 each. So you're going to spend between $45, $65 on the oil itself. So it'll cost you about 80 bucks with the oil filter. 80 bucks or 220 bucks. You choose what you want to do. Yes, it wasn't really that easy. It took me a couple of hours. Or you can cross your fingers and take it to Jiffy Lube. They'll charge you about 150 bucks too. But I feel good that I did it myself. And I'm confident that I did it correctly. Now you can take your old oil to any gas station. They're required by law to take it. Or you can go to Home Depot. They take used oil also. Also, I wouldn't have been able to do this job without these Garvee ramps. The ramp itself is longer, so it's a gradual increase instead of a super steep one, where the Mercedes front air dam will hit it and push it forward. This way, it's perfect, goes right over. It is heavy and big. Where am I going to put it? I've got lots of sheds in the back. If you guys are interested in the Garvee hydraulic jack ramps, I know, I've never seen them before either. I'm glad that I have them. It helped me to change that oil that I normally would not have been able to do. You guys would like to check it out? I'll leave a link in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed my little adventure on changing the oil myself. It wasn't that hard, and I saved myself a lot of money. Remember to like, share, and subscribe so I can continue to make you do-it-yourself content, just like this one. Have yourselves a great day. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.